Hello everyone, I'm Doris. Today I would like to talk about why does an organization get toxic and how to avoid it. Here is my table of content. After watching the YouTube videos featuring Chloe and Jamie, I have summarized several reasons that contribute to organizational toxicity and provided suggestions on how to avoid it. One of the primary reasons for toxicity in organizations is unclear career growth. When companies solely focus on employee outputs and neglect opportunities for career growth, employees may feel undervalued and unappreciated. This can result in diminished motivation and reduced productivity. Organizational culture is another factor that can lead to toxicity. For instance, in China, the 996 work culture, which expects employees to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, can result in a burnout and decreased productivity. Moreover, in international organizations with cross-cultural teams, cultural differences can also create conflicts. Diversity is a significant issue in organizations, and gender discrimination is a prevalent problem. Women are often underrepresented in high management positions and are more likely to experience various forms of abuse, which can lead to decreased job satisfaction for female employees. Employee health is another critical factor that can contribute to organizational toxicity. Overworked employees without adequate rest time can suffer from physical and mental health issues, leading to anxiety, stress, and burnout. These health issues can lead to reduced productivity, absenteeism, and decreased employee morale. Lastly, unclear organization accountability can result in toxicity. In organizations with a low power distance, where there's a flat hierarchy and a minimal formal authority, determining responsibility for specific tasks can be challenging. This can lead to confusion, lack of clarity, and decreased efficiency, as employees may not know who to turn to for guidance or accountability. As for solutions that correspond to the reasons above to begin with, organizations should establish clear plans for employees' growth and development, which not only improves employee retention but also enhances the organization's competitive advantage. Secondly, organizations should adapt their culture to ensure employees feel comfortable and productive. Thirdly, organizations must promote gender equality and provide equal work and promotion opportunities for both women and men. Fourthly, organizations should ensure employees have sufficient rest time and offer regular psychological counseling to support their mental health. Lastly, organizations should establish a clear division of labor, ensuring that everyone knows their roles and responsibilities. In conclusion, organizations can become toxic due to various factors, including unclear career growth, culture, diversity, health, and unclear organization accountability. To prevent toxicity, organizations should develop clear plans for employee growth, adapt their culture to make employees feel comfortable and productive, promote gender equality, ensure employees' physical and mental health, and establish clear division of labor. By addressing these issues, organizations can create a healthy work environment that fosters productivity and employee well-being. Here is my references. Thanks for your listening.
In this video, our group gonna discuss the topic why does an organization get toxic and how to avoid it. An organization is considered toxic when the work environment becomes stressful, unhealthy, and demotivating for the employees. It can occur for various reasons, such as poor leadership, lack of communication, discrimination, harassment, and unfair treatment. Toxicity in the workplace can lead to low productivity, high turnover rates, and a negative impact on the company's reputation. Therefore, it is essential to identify toxicity causes and take necessary measures to avoid them.
Poor leadership is one of the significant reasons for toxicity in the workplace. When leaders fail to communicate effectively, make unfair decisions, and don't provide proper guidance, it can lead to a toxic work environment. Organizations should focus on developing strong leadership skills among their managers and supervisors to avoid the problem. Training, monitoring programs, and regular feedback can help improve leadership skills and create a positive work environment. Another reason for toxicity in the workplace is a lack of communication. Employees feeling left out or ignored can lead to resentment and frustration. Therefore, organizations should encourage open communication and provide regular employee feedback to avoid this. Regular team meetings, one-on-one sessions, and anonymous surveys can help identify communication gaps and address them effectively.
Discrimination and harassment are also substantial causes of toxicity in the workplace. When employees feel discriminated against or harassed, it can lead to a hostile work environment. To avoid this, organizations should have strict policies to prevent discrimination and harassment. Training programs, workshops, and awareness campaigns can help educate employees about the importance of diversity and inclusion. Unfair treatment is another reason for toxicity in the workplace. When employees feel they are not being treated fairly, it can lead to resentment and low morale. Organizations should ensure that their policies and procedures are fair and transparent to avoid this. Providing equal opportunities for growth and development, recognizing and rewarding good performance, and addressing concerns and grievances could help create a fair and positive work environment.
In conclusion, toxicity in the workplace can hurt the employees, the organization, and its reputation. Therefore, it is essential to identify toxicity causes and take necessary measures to avoid them. Developing strong leadership skills, encouraging open communication, preventing discrimination and harassment, and ensuring fair treatment can help create a positive work environment and improve employee morale and productivity. Organizations can create a healthy and thriving workplace culture that benefits everyone by taking proactive steps to prevent toxicity.
After watching the following two videos on why they leave TikTok, I have been thinking more about how organizations can become toxic environments. It is essential to recognize the warning signs and understand the underlying factors that contribute to the toxicity in the workplace. In this video, we will explore the different ways that organizational culture and other factors can lead to a toxic work environment. We will also discuss strategies for addressing toxicity and creating a healthy workplace culture. So let's dive in and learn more about toxic workplaces and how to avoid them. Some companies, the focus is solely on success or failure, with little attention given to the personal growth and development of employees. This can create a culture of fear and anxiety around failure, where employees are afraid to take risks or try new things for fear of being punished or blamed for any mistakes. This can lead to a lack of innovation and creativity within the organization, and as employees become complacent and resistant to change. The 996 work culture, which refers to the practice of working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, can be a significant contributing factor to toxicity in an organization. This work culture is prevalent in some industries, particularly in the technology sector in China, and can lead to burnout, stress, and other negative consequences. When employees are expected to work long hours, they may become exhausted and overwhelmed, which can lead to a decline in productivity and quality of work. In addition, long hours can lead to a lack of work-life balance, which can harm employee well-being and lead to high turnover rates. A lack of diversity can create a culture of discrimination, harassment, and microaggressions, where certain groups are targeted or excluded from opportunities based on their identity. This can create a toxic work environment where employees feel unsafe and unsupported, and ultimately harm the organization's reputation and success. Now let's talk about solutions. To address fear of failure, leaders must prioritize psychological safety in the workplace. When employees feel safe to take risks and make mistakes, they are more likely to innovate and contribute to the organization's success. In addition, leaders must foster a culture of learning and growth, where mistakes are viewed as opportunities for improvement rather than sources of blame and punishment. To address the overtime work culture in the workplace, leaders must prioritize employee well-being and work-life balance. They must create a culture that values work efficiency over long hours and encourages employees to take breaks and pay attention to their self-care. Leaders can also implement policies that promote work-life balance, such as flexible work arrangements, and provide resources to support employee mental health and well-being. To address a lack of diversity in the workplace, leaders must create a culture that values and celebrates differences and ensures that all employees feel valued and heard. This includes implementing policies that encourage diversity in hiring and promotion, providing diversity training and education, and actively seeking out instances of discrimination or harassment. In conclusion, creating a healthy work environment is crucial for organizational success and employee well-being. Leaders must recognize the warning signs of toxicity and take action to address the factors that lead to it. Thank you for watching, and let's work together to create a better workplace culture.
Hello everyone, in this video we would like to discuss why an organization gets toxic and how they can avoid it. According to research published by MIT Sloan Management Review, toxic culture is the most important factor that causes employees to quit. From the bar chart we can find that toxic culture causing employees to quit 10.4 times than compensation. Now let's explore why organizations become toxic. The first reason is that the organization lacks good work regulations. Poor work regulations may not have effective measures to hold employees accountable for their behaviors. If there are no consequences for violating regulations, employees may feel they can engage in unethical or harmful behavior without repercussions. That makes them willing to do whatever it takes to protect their interests. Additionally, as employees of the company, they focus on their own promotion and personal career development. If work regulations do not clearly describe employees' career development mechanisms, they may lose motivation to work, contributing to the emergence of a toxic culture. The second reason is that the organizations lack a healthy corporate culture, which leads employees lacking passion for work and making it difficult for a company to attract top talents and maintain them. For example, while corporate profits are rising, employee benefits are not. This shows that companies are putting financial interests ahead of the well-being of their employees. The company implements a 996 work culture. They don't consider the actual productivity of the employees, just ask them to spend long hours at work. Leaders may fuel employees by constantly humiliating them and eroding their confidence, which can lead employees to blindly follow their orders without questioning them. As a result, the best ideas are lost and only the leaders' ideas are implemented. A third reason is that the companies lack diversity. If a company discriminates against women or people of color, those people will be less likely to contribute to the company. This can lead to flaws in the company and a lack of diversity perspective on the products and service. After discussing why an organization gets toxic, it's important to consider how to avoid the problems mentioned above and adopt strategies to address these situations. First of all, it is essential to create a positive working environment in the workplace. This means fostering a culture of respect and support where employees feel valued and included. It is also important to encourage open and honest communication within the organization. Employees should feel free to share their thoughts and feedback, and managers should provide channels for this. It is important to listen to their concerns and ideas, respond quickly and respectfully, and create a culture of transparency and trust to support honest opinions. In addition, managers should pay attention to the needs of employees and provide them with the autonomy and the resources they need to do their job effectively. Actively providing training and promotion opportunities for employees will also help employees grow and progress in their careers. Managers should give priority to the welfare of their employees, not just the profits of the company. For example, they can offer more flexible working arrangements and promote work-life balance. What's more, if you are in a toxic workplace, it is important to say no to unreasonable requests and take action. Document any inappropriate incidents or conversations and report them to human resources, as well as seek support from others.
Hello, everyone. Today we want to share some information about the toxic workplace. First, let me introduce what is a toxic work environment. A toxic work environment can arise when there is a mismatch between the work, the people, and the environment. These disruptions can adversely affect your physical health, resulting in sleepless nights, constant vigilant feel, sweaty palms, and a racing heart. The next part is about the cause. Toxicity can be caused by anyone in the workplace, regardless of their position. Rumors and peer pressure can make employees feel inadequate, leading to poor performance and low morale. A lack of core values, misalignment with processes and guidelines, and bad leadership can all contribute to a toxic work environment. Toxic work environments can result from a lack of clear company values, where values are only superficially displayed on the website. Additionally, when core values are not integrated into the organization's processes and guidelines, employees may continue doing things the old way. Managers with poor leadership skills and biases who do not give regular feedback also contribute to toxicity in the workplace. To address these issues, there are several strategies that organizations can adopt. One such strategy is to give credit where credit is due, by ensuring that all employees who contribute to a project are recognized and rewarded appropriately. Organizations can encourage a more cooperative and healthy work culture. Another important strategy is to encourage team sharing. While competition can be healthy, it is essential to avoid creating an environment where winners are celebrated and losers are ridiculed. Instead, organizations can encourage top performers to mentor colleagues who are struggling, fostering a more cohesive and supportive team environment. Playing favorites and scapegoating can also contribute to toxicity. To avoid this, organizations should ensure that team leaders lead by example and treat all employees fairly and equally. This can help to prevent cliques from forming and maintain team cohesion. Providing opportunities for mutual feedback can also help to foster a healthier work environment. By giving employees an avenue to communicate with management, organizations can demonstrate that they value their opinions and are open to improving the workplace. Finally, an open office culture can help to promote transparency and communication. Leaders should encourage employees to approach them with any concerns or ideas they may have, even if they fear criticism or rejection. In conclusion, creating a harmonious and healthy work environment requires ongoing effort and commitment. By following these strategies and maintaining open communication and collaboration, organizations can transform a toxic workplace into a dynamic and engaged one, where employees are motivated and happy in their roles. We use some AI tools to help us better complete our works. On this page, we identify our sources of information and AI tools. Thank you for your listening.
In recent years, the turnover rate of many companies has gradually increased. So what is the reason for this phenomenon? To figure out this phenomenon, our group will use the following steps to explain. Toxic culture is actually a big factor. A toxic organization is manifested in lack of professional development opportunities for employees, bullying, sexual harassment and discrimination in the organization, and opaque or dishonest behavior of leadership. Why does an organization become toxic? The fundamental reason is that for increasing profit of the organization, the superior oppresses the employees, without considering the feelings of the employees. It also has other reasons. 1. The company has few development opportunities, and employees have no chance of career advancement, leading to resignation. 2. When superiors lack respect for employees, the superior will have a condescending attitude towards subordinates, accompanied by verbal attacks. 3. The internal information of the organization is not public and transparent, and the organization may even forge false information. These can create distrust among employees. Huawei is a typical example of a toxic culture. In recent years, Huawei's turnover rate has been on the rise, reaching as high as 43% once. One of the reasons is that the toxicity of Huawei's wolf culture has been gradually revealed to the public. Xia Yingfei, Huawei's chief executive, warned employees in 2008 that the economic situation may decline. I hope employees will be prepared for 2009 and 2010 to be more difficult. Under such intimidating incentives, employees are not equally respected and understood, and the original corporate culture, once powerful, has become an internal reason for discouraging employees' enthusiasm and even guiding employees to commit suicide. In addition, Huawei implements the bottom elimination system, intensifying employees' high-pressure working environment and generating a strong competitive relationship among employees. In this state, the lack of trust and comfort in work also increases the turnover rate of employees. How avoid an organization from getting toxic? We give following recommendations. 1. Build more fair, open, and transparent promotion channels to increase employees' trust in the organization. 2. Give employees more trust, encouragement, and respect rather than oppression and abuse. 3. Optimize the performance system to improve employees' enthusiasm for work. 4. Provide more channels for employees to raise questions. At the same time, these channels can effectively solve problems. 5. Management should lead by example and actively oppose toxic work culture. 6. Organize regular training or events to create a more positive environment.
Hello everyone, we are going to talk about why does an organization get toxic and how to avoid it. A toxic company includes the following aspects. And the first point, poor leadership. Department supervisors don't pay attention to employees and their suggestions are often ignored. Employees don't get recognition. And the second point is working hours are too long. In China, the working hours are longer than in other countries, and sometimes you must work overtime on weekends. And the third point is lack of communication. The lack of communication between team members and between employees and their supervisors lead to lower work efficiency. And the first point, implicit bias. There are stereotypes, discrimination against women and LGBT people, and Moses assumed that only men are qualified for some key points. And the healthy problems. Continued overtime affects physical and mental health, and even stay up late at work, and the risk of sudden death.
Next, mismatched goals. The goals of the company don't match the goals of employees. Employees don't approve the company's product, and they are not willing to work for the goals of the company. Our emphasis on results. The company pays too much attention to the work results, and the working environment is very high pressure. It doesn't care about efforts of the employees in the process. If the achievements are not satisfactory to the company, the employees cannot get bonus. Lack of incentive mechanism. Employees feel that their contributions are undervalued, not recognized, and lack opportunities for professional promotion and growth. Absence order. The company was not well organized. The boss don't know how to make employees devote enthusiasm to their work, but only use punishment. Don't maximize the subjective initiative of employees with the right incentives. How to avoid organization being toxic? I will introduce some solutions. The first one is that companies should set out specific, measurable, relevant, and time-bound goals to make sure that every employee has known that before they got into work. However, the stage of the company is changing all the time. So the second point is that in-time communication channels are indispensable for employees to follow up the steps. Also, these channels can give the opportunity to discuss any ideas or provide feedback which is conducive to employees' efficient work, but you should take care of efficient discussion. Additionally, leaders should demonstrate a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion by creating a welcoming and inclusive workplace. Another point is that an important aspect of creating a positive and productive work environment by acknowledging and praising employees for their hard work and achievements. And you can provide financial incentives and professional development opportunities. To make talent stay, company must provide employee trainings and development, since when employees feel that they are not growing and developing professionally, they can become disengaged and demotivated. Also, employees should have reasonable hours and workload. Encouraging breaks, vacation time, and mental health days can also help reduce burnout and stress.
Next, good welfare conditions. When employee feels valued and supported, they are less likely to experience the stress or dissatisfaction with their jobs. The good welfare conditions such as offering the health insurance, the mental health resources, and also the flexible work arrangement. By offering those conditions, organization can improve morale and reduce the turnover. The next one is to avoid bureaucratism, which means to simplify the policies and procedure, foster a culture of innovation, and also promote autonomy and also encourage open communication. The next one is to try to avoid discrimination. The company can have some plans such as affirmative action, diversity protection, positive action, and also the minority protection. All of this aim to establish an equal and inclusive workplace to promote employee diversity while providing opportunities and support for those who have been historically treated unfairly. The company should address any issues of discrimination, harassment, or bullying remotely.
Nowadays, employees' voices are receiving increasing attention and even concern. Many talents in the company feel unhappy due to the 996 culture, unclear boundaries, discrimination, etc. We call companies that have these problems toxic companies. This video will explain why a company gets toxic and how to avoid it. According to Dr. Choi's multiple capital theory, energy vampire is the culprit of toxic organizations which can realize their objectives using multiple capital resources. Thus, how the energy vampire works deserves to pay attention as a business problem solver. The first issue is related to the toxic culture, especially the overload job content, leading to an imbalanced working style named 996, even 11116. In this circumstance, organizations not only disregard the workers' fundamental physiological capital, which puts them at risk for medical problems, but also their deeper psychological capital, leading to a low desire for community over time. Additionally, PUA, bullying, gender discrimination, and such like have been witnessed in the modern workplace. Employee indifference, burnout, anxiety, and melancholy can all be caused by a sense of despair and lack of diversity. These elements can further erode ambition and motivation. Subsequently, commencing with poor communication and management practices in HRM, businesses that don't prioritize effective interaction danger growing toxic, misunderstandings, friction, and a lack of trust between employees and management might result from this. As a result, energy vampire becomes a relationship breaker among colleagues, superiors, and stakeholders. Employee satisfaction and productivity are likely to decline as a result of frequently unclear instructions and targets if the companies fail to manage the social capital. Meantime, when there is a lack of transparency inside an organization, asking people constantly regarding what they know could foster a climate of distrust and obstruct cooperation and teamwork. Companies that don't disclose their policies, methods, or decision-making process are more sensitive to employing the torture needle strategy, in which superiors probe deeply or demand extensive information to demonstrate their authority. This would be considered a misuse of human capital. For some solutions, Dr. Choi proposes the healing organization concept inspired by Peter Senge's learning organization model. Healing organization focuses on the idea that the work environment can significantly influence an individual's health and behaviors. Here are some solutions to transform a toxic company into a healing one. One of the most important key is listening, including listening to employees' needs, aspirations, and job satisfaction. The major advantages of listening is showing affection to workers and paying attention to the employees' feelings. which can help to build intimacy and connection between individuals and also relieve stress, anxiety, and other negative emotions, promoting feelings of happiness and contentment. Moreover, such affection can also enhance the communication between individuals and strengthen the bonds to foster a sense of trust, commitment, warmth, and support. Another crucial solution is creating a supportive and inclusive work culture, which values diversity and provides various opportunities for individual growth. Encouraging employees to engage in meaningful and suitable work can provide employees a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Plus, companies should set up a reasonable work schedule to help employees achieve work-life balance instead of getting drained from overwhelming workloads and tight work schedules. A healthy work-life balance can assist employees to feel more energized and motivated, which can prevent burnout and stress, helping employees maintain good physical and mental health. Through these ways, a toxic company can be transformed into a healing one with great employee vitality and efficiency. Now, we believe you can spot a toxic company with keen eyes and have certain ideas to avoid it.
Hierarchy in the workplace is a strange thing. On one side, superiors would expect high performance from the subordinates, while on the other side, the subordinates would like the superiors to be more reasonable. This relationship bonds both parties with incentives for higher economic welfare. However, the difference in positions may lead to confrontation in the behavior of both parties. Is harmful to an organization's function. Toxicity builds up on lots of occasions. Toxicity affects working morale, which reduces employee satisfaction and motivation. According to Stephen H. Applebaum and David Roy Gerard's theory, there are two sources of toxic environment related to incompetency. Leadership failure. Fails to set long-term goals or prioritize immediate short-term goals. Has little awareness of the foreseeable future. Management failure. Fails to address the problem during work. Unable to coordinate the resources to the corresponding task. Likely consequences of failure. Losing control over the department, setting others to blame when a problem occurs, hiding problems instead of solving it, not allowing others to ask questions about their decisions. In a work environment, the company would develop a pattern for how the work is carried out. The employee would behave in such a way that their superior does it, would spread from top to bottom. Subordinates would try to imitate their toxic superiors in a toxic working environment. Incompetent superiors would produce an incompetent culture where people are not willing and capable of conducting their tasks in the most efficient way possible. Financial loss from an organizational perspective, as it results in more absenteeism and turnover intentions, along with the impact on the productivity of employees with the change in attitude to the job and of course the well-being, physical and psychological. That is a direct effect of a toxic culture. In the long term, the toxic culture would infect the entire corporation. In a healthy workplace, if a person appears toxic, their corresponding superior must address the issue and make adjustments. Therefore, the direct manager must make a response to any toxic behavior, such as incompetency. In addition, a normal company would do a timely performance review to access a certain department or individuals from being unproductive and eliminate any potential toxic elements. Any employee has the right to report anything that occurred unprofessionally in the organization. However, like most organizations, it would not operate at 100%. Any organization that works by people, government, charity, company, etc., there is always the instance that people in the positions not performing their obligation and refuse to deal with problems of toxicity that damage the overall performance of an organization. If the company is so corrupt that it does not manage the toxicity properly and employees suffer physically and mentally, there is always the option of quitting.
This is an analysis video produced by students from Wenzhou Qing University on the impact of toxic working environments on employees' work status. A toxic environment is a situation that makes us feel psychologically unsafe. Usually this refers to work that harms an individual's physical and mental health. These jobs may cause long-term anxiety, depression, fatigue, and other problems. Workplace culture is crucial for organizations to unleash the potential of their employees. Positive workplace culture also has an impact on employee engagement and employee productivity. A toxic work environment can lead to low employee morale and loss of work motivation, leading to a decline in the organization. So, avoiding a toxic work culture is very important for a company. Why does an organization become toxic? For each employee, the reasons for toxic work may be different. However, based on some employees' work experience and daily state, this inevitably poisonous work environment has some common characteristics. 1. Work without boundaries. Some toxic companies encourage employees to prioritize work over everyday life. They may want employees to stay in the office late every day. Our employees can reply to messages and emails 24/7 on weekends. 2. Colleagues' distrust. Not willing to share important information with colleagues and even intentionally conceal information about a specific job. This can cause others to encounter difficulties or errors in completing their work. 3. No mistakes allowed. This would cause employees to feel very stressed and anxious. Being cautious when working can help productivity. Additionally, employees may be reluctant to try new ideas or approaches for fear of making mistakes. 4. Challenging to grow effectively. Due to constant continuous long hours of work and thinking with the brain, it causes problems in the body and thus weakens. As an employer, 1. Ethical framework helps to guarantee that everyone adheres to the same conduct and behavior norms, preventing disagreements. 2. Fair rewards for outcomes, ensuring everyone who contributes to the project receives the recognition that they deserve, help to avoid resentment and feelings of unfairness. 3. Encourage team sharing, arrange for those who do well to mentor others who struggle to reach their objectives. This will foster inclusivity and a sense of belonging, improving the workplace atmosphere. 4. Avoid discrimination, create a diverse and inclusive workplace free from bias and discrimination. As an employee, 1. Establishing boundaries, recognizing your limitations in terms of effort, time, and expectations is critical. Be honest about what you can and cannot handle and let your boss or supervisor know what you need and are worried about. 2. Self-care practices, taking good care of one's physical and emotional well-being. Set aside time for relaxing activities like meditation, exercise, and time with close friends and family. 3. Develop constructive relationships, develop a good rapport with your superiors and coworkers. Encourage open dialogue, mutual respect, and teamwork. And stay as far away from gossip and office politics as possible. 4. Seeking support. If you work in a toxic workplace, please ask for help from dependable coworkers, mentors, or advisors. You can learn coping mechanisms and manage your emotions by talking to someone. This study uses the help of ChatGPT to enrich information resources and standardize the use of text. Thank you for your listening.
Hi, everyone. Establishing a healthy and sustainable enterprise requires the timely identification of toxic organizations. In this video, our team identifies toxic organizations from 3 aspects: toxic leadership, inappropriate recognition, and toxic company culture. When leaders fail to provide clear direction, employees can become confused and aimless, leading to frustration and a lack of productivity. It might also emerge when leaders are abusive, micromanaging, or untrustworthy, which leads to high turnover rates, low morale, and decreased productivity. And poor decision-making can also be a problem when leaders lack vision or insight, leading to missed opportunities, poor outcomes, and a lack of innovation. Additionally, when leaders fail to take responsibility for their actions or those of their teams, it can lead to a lack of trust, poor communication, and a lack of transparency. All of these issues can ultimately lead to low employee engagement, which can significantly impact a company's success. Disengaged employees are less likely to be productive, creative, or committed to the company's success. Inappropriate recognition and rewards mean when employees' work is not properly assessed, their mindset and productivity suffer, and they may become disengaged and less productive. company culture that does not attach employee evaluation and motivation can make employees feel underappreciated and lose motivation to work. If a company lacks a structured reward and evaluation system, the criteria for judging an employee's behavior can become blurred, resulting in differences in reward judgments. Poor communication can also affect the determination of standards. This can make employees feel that their work does not match the rewards they receive, thus losing motivation to work. Internalization, like the cancer for a company, which can be divided into three aspects: culture, management systems, and management processes. Cliques within the company lead to internalization of management culture, causing a negative impact on employee values. Bureaucracy leads to internalization of management systems and failure to adjust to the market in time. Excessive control of work processes and risk, along with multi-layered reporting, leads to internalization of management processes, affecting profitability and development. Fixing toxic leadership is not an easy task. So, to address the issue of toxic leadership, there are several steps that organizations can take, and providing support to the leader who tends to do well. Support like tailored coaching, mentoring, training, and emotional support such as counseling services can help leaders cope with the challenges of overcoming toxic behavior. Providing resources, tools, and peer support can also help leaders deepen their understanding of the problem and develop new strategies for improvement. By supporting leaders in this way, organizations can create a healthier workplace culture and promote success for all employees. To deal with this situation, it is important to establish a stable performance evaluation system. First, conduct a needs assessment to determine the employee's opinions on the performance evaluation. Find out the missing element and make improvements in weak areas. Develop a clear reward plan, based on the previously determined performance appraisal reward mechanism. Give employees their expected rewards, then communicate effectively with employees, extract feedback from employees, improve the mechanism further, to determine a unified mechanism, and maintain its consistency. The relevant department should also continue to pay attention to the operation of the evaluation mechanism to maintain the effectiveness and consistency. To address internalization in companies, measures can be taken in three areas: abolishing outdated employment systems, eliminating arbitrary growth plans imposed by superior authorities, and updating internal management systems. Companies should adopt fair and transparent employment mechanisms, develop plans based on market demands, and constantly improve management systems while enhancing employee education and training. So, by identifying and addressing toxic leadership, inappropriate recognition practices, and a toxic company culture, organizations can create a positive and productive work environment. With these efforts, we can build healthy and sustainable enterprises that benefit employees, customers, and stakeholders alike.
In the fast-paced business world, it frequently happens that the tissue turns toxic. A firm's productivity, staff retention, and general effectiveness can all suffer significantly from a toxic work environment. Therefore, companies must comprehend the causes of toxicity and take action to stop it. We'll discuss why organizations become destructive in the video and present solutions. Firstly is about the organization's culture. Employees think that the company's culture is unsuitable and inconsistent with their values, and it is difficult for members to have a consistent goal in the company, which will slow down the company's growth or cause employees to leave one after another. Second, managers frequently just pay attention to an organization's performance. There is a lack of communication between high-level employees and basic employees, or the appeals and suggestions of grassroots employees cannot be answered. Difficulties in communication will ultimately reduce the innovation and enthusiasm of employees and affect the operation of the company. Third is bound. Employees think that they are bound by work in the enterprise. It will also affect their health over time. Fourth, the proportion of men in decision-making leaders is much larger than that of women, which reflects the lack of diversity in society and organizations. In fact, the common cause of organizational toxicity reflected in the two videos is the company's corporate culture and improper leadership. According to research by RGE and Barham, ND, toxic leadership has a significant impact on the lack of motivation and spirit within the organization, which can have an impact on the organizational culture and ultimately make the entire organization toxic. So, How avoid an organization from getting toxic? According to the fourth problem I showed before, here are some tips you need to know. First, to ensure that everyone in the organization is working toward the same goals, publish a list of the organization's core values and utilize it when hiring new employees. For example, we can hold a values day, dedicate a date, quarter or year to celebrate the organization's core values to know more about the core value. Second, employees should be more rewarded and recognized. We can hold monthly meetings using 15 minutes to let employees appreciate and praise each other, improving employees' work enthusiasm and increasing the group's cohesion. Third, too much emphasis on performance results in serious competition within the company. If you want your team to be full of good people and energy, reward your employees with something beyond money. There are 2 innovative examples we want to share with you. Improve the sense of accomplishment and personal development of old members by training them for new members. Implement wellness programs such as yoga classes or healthy eating workshops to help employees manage stress and improve their physical and mental health. Finally, enterprises should establish an inclusive and diverse environment and respect gender diversity, ethnic diversity, and racial diversity in the organization. Celebrate the diversity of your team by acknowledging different cultural and religious holidays and events. Provide training to employees on unconscious bias and how to avoid them. Create employee resource groups focusing on specific diversity areas, such as gender, race, or sexual orientation. These groups can provide a safe space for employees to connect and share their experiences. This is the end of our sharing today. I hope that after watching our video, you can generate more new ideas and provide suggestions on preventing organizations from becoming toxic.